Hello everybody, I am back with another Ark video, and today I will be explaining a full beginner's tutorial to Ark Survival Evolved from the basics. And so I will be covering the island and every one of the storyline maps. So that includes, let me show you here, that includes the island, Scorched Earth, Aberration, Extinction, and both of the Genesises in the order that I stated. And so this should be a good guide for most of you guys who are just getting into Ark and trying to figure out what to do. And so let me just start out from the basis. We got join Ark, host local, and you might be wondering what these are. So if you press join Ark, you get an actual server that you can either go official, unofficial PC. There's all sorts of videos on that, but basically this is the PvP or PvE aspect. So this is, you can play with friends, play with whatever you want. So look at all these servers. These are just PC servers. But let me go over here. I'll cancel this for you. And then there's also host local. Now this is your single player. This is your story arcs. And so that is what I will be covering today, is all the story arcs. Let's get right into it. The island. Now I'm going to load in and bring you right back. So when you load into the Ark, you will get a character selection screen. So you can choose your survival name, which normally it already gives up. It says Bob. And you got all these hair colors, head size. You can adjust basically every aspect of your character. I don't normally mess with it too much, you know. PvP, it's always better to have a little bit smaller frame, so it's harder to get shot. But really, it doesn't affect anything of your gameplay at all. If you do mess up your character too much, it'll make you look a little wonky in different skins and different clothing. But other than that, it's not a big deal. So yeah, you just go through randomly, do stuff. And where I normally spawn is one of the easy zones on the island, because now, as I go through, I'm going to explain the maps that aren't actually easy zones are easy. But on the island, the easy zones, pretty much the easiest you're going to get. It's not going to be hard, so I'm just going to create new survival, South Zone 2. If it says easy, though, that's pretty good sign that that's where you're going to need to spawn. So I'm spawning in. Take a second. And so the first thing I do when I get straight into a map is I right like this. Okay? And if you see here, you probably don't know this. This took me actually a long time to figure out. Is these little stones on the ground, if you press Y on controller, you can just pick it up. Or Y on Xbox, you can just pick up these little stones on the ground. And that is the first thing you want to do. And so, because you need stone to do that. So really, you only need to find a few stones. And if you spawn in different spots, it's harder to find stone. That's why spawn at the easy zone, because you can find these stones right away. Now, these explorer notes, because obviously there's one right here, these things give you boosted XP. So these are very good. Boosted experience, speeds up your growth. And this is why you spawn at the easy zone, guys. Spawn here, and then here, you can get some thatch. There, I got some wood. And the first thing I normally do is, now that I got a level, I'm level 12. Now, please ignore this because this is my stats at the time on this account is way above what I normally play on. But when you first get in, level 1, the first thing you want to craft is a pickaxe. And it will explain that to you, but definitely craft a pickaxe first. My first thing I normally put into is fortitude, which I normally like. Fortitude, health, weight is always good. Trust me, weight is always good. I can't stress that enough. So weight is probably some of the best things you're going to want to do. Then you can go ahead and get this. Now, what I normally choose is I choose this stone hatchet and a spear. Because I already got a torch, I don't normally need the campfire right away. And I can live off berries for my first level, you know? It doesn't take very long to get to level 3, so really, I wouldn't worry about getting the campfire right away. And now that you have your good old pickaxe, you can start getting flint. And flint is very important, because flint is what allows you to get spears, takes flint, axe takes flint, and the torch takes flint. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a torch next in case it gets dark. And so super simple. Really got to focus on not getting too distracted, because in the very beginning of the game, that's when you want to do your grind. That is when you're just hitting things and grinding a lot. I want you to understand that too. So if you see here, I did get 1 medal. Medal will be very important in the later game, but for now, don't really worry about the medal. You can probably drop it. But get myself a hatchet, which is normally the second thing I get. Normally I don't get the torch second, but because I had enough, I'm going to get the torch. Now, the hatchet. The stone hatchet is your #1 thing. Don't lose this. If you want, make like 5 of these, okay? So, you can get pretty much everything with the hatchet. Now, you get less of that item. So, see how I got 1 flint, but I got way less flint than I did with the pickaxe. So, remember, pickaxe is for flint. Hatchet is for stone. So you need both of those items to really survive. Want to get cloth pants, cloth shirt, and as soon as I get to level 4, get a sleeping bag, because that is super important. And then you can go ahead and get the other items that you need. Eventually, what you're going to do is you're going to get a spear. Let me see if I have enough to make a spear. I do not. So, need some wood. Take my hatchet, which also gets me wood. So hatchet gives you a lot of wood, and the pickaxe gets you a lot of thatch. Right here, got myself a spear. Now you want to make multiple spears because they break pretty easily. Go ahead and make myself a bunch of spears. And dodos will be your best friend. I mean, not literally, not to them, but basically you can throw the spear or stab with the spear. See? So you can stab with the spear. Anyway, what I got is 6 hide, and that 6 hide will allow me to probably make, there we go, I can make boots with that. So, now I need more fiber. And just kind of rinse and repeat. Low level, it gives you the instructions on how to make things, and you just keep building up. There are a lot more complicated things to Ark, and I will explain that farther in the video. I'm trying to keep it as short as possible. So keep that in mind, but yeah. Let me see here, so I can make these boots here. There we go, I got feet protection now. And next thing, when you see these bushes on the island, you can harvest them super simple like this, by pressing Y on controller. Now, these things give you tiny bits of water if you're very thirsty, so keep that in mind, and also gives you food. So low level, this is how you get food. This is definitely what you want to do. Next is the narco berries. Now, as you harvest it, you'll get random little bits of narco berries, and narco berries can be used and put in a mortar and pestle, mixed with spoiled meat, and you can end up getting trank arrows or narcotic to keep the dinosaur asleep. So keep that in mind when you're low level. Now, so next you want to get yourself a nice little thatch base. So simple. I normally do a 2x2 thatch base. I normally only go 1 high. Just some sort of shelter to protect you, and so you can stay warm in over the night. That's really what you want. Next, you want to work on getting your first dinosaur. So first thing you're going to need, kill some dodos on the beach so you can get some hide. And then you want to get this bola. And then you want to go around. You want to get a bola and a club. So once you get a bola and a club, you want to go around looking for any sort of parasaur, small dinosaurs. Definitely don't go trying to tame a bronto. It's just going to end bad. So here's a nice little parasaur. Make sure you don't want to accidentally hit anything. So if you can see here, it's hard for me to exactly see what I'm doing right now because it's nighttime, but you can still do things at night. So okay, I can see what I'm doing. Get my club and just hit him. Hit him a whole bunch of times. If you want to go in the head, you can. It just risks dying. I sure hope I don't hit the bronto. Really? See, this is Ark. Like, you tame something, then a bronto's gonna walk up on you. I'm gonna wait because I do not want to hit the bronto again. and he ran away. So I can't really see right now. Not the best time, but I do got another bola, so. And I missed because I cannot see a thing again. Ark is very dark at night, so I'm going to bring you back and show you in the morning of how exactly you want to tame everything. And that's normally how it goes if you try taming without anything and go by yourself, because you got to get a lot of club hits in. But if you have a tribe, I mean, hitting with the club, it works. But normally I don't even try that. Normally I wait till I can get trank arrows. It's not that hard to get them. So I think it's like level 20 something that you actually get trank arrows. And so this is what I'm going to demonstrate here on how to get trank arrows so that does not happen and you can have a nice successful tame without any problems. So once you do that, you get a mortal and pestle. Now in the mortal and pestle you need spoiled meat, and in order to get a lot more spoiled meat faster is you get this stuff, raw meat. And so once you get this raw meat, you can actually press Y to split the item, and once you split the item, you just want to split it a bunch of times so they all spoil faster. If they spoil faster, you can get a lot more spoiled meat. And then you also need, these are the ingredients, 1 spoiled meat and narcoberries. So I crafted, I get 1 of those. Let me go ahead and eat that because I'm starving. Now I go ahead and put this in my inventory. As you see, I have 26 normal arrows, so I go crafting, go down here, trank arrows, craft 1. Now trank arrows helps you basically hit the dinosaur without having to bola it, but in most cases with the parasaur, because they will run away with you, it's definitely suggested to bring a bola. I 100% suggest bringing a bola. So in a couple seconds here, these will decompose and I will be able to actually get a lot more trank arrows a lot faster. And I will bring you back, and yeah. Okay, so now I have all my spoiled meat, and I just press Y and I go ahead and get all my narcotic. It takes a while. And so once you get all that, continuing the process, get a bunch of these. See, it doesn't take very long. So place it in there. Now I have 10 arrows. This should help me knock out a good old parasaur. I probably can actually knock it out with just these 10 arrows. It shouldn't be very hard. And this is the way to do it. You really don't want to take risks in Ark, because if you die, you won't be able to find your way back. Or you might be able to. Like here, I'll be able to find my way back to my base if I respawn, because I literally spawn like right up on this hill. So respawning won't be hard at all, and finding my stuff. But when you do die, you will see a little green thing shooting up in the sky. So not the obelisk is, but you will look around and you'll see basically like a green light straight up in the sky. Follow that green light and it should be your body. Okay, I'm here. I found a parasaur, so I'm just gonna go here. Find a parasaur, quickly switch to my arrow, shoot him. You don't want to waste it, so just suddenly shoot him in the head. There we go. Just a few shots and he's already dead. Now I got a bunch of compies following me here. I'll go ahead and just hit these compies. That's why you really want to keep a spear around, because these compies can tear you up low level. Look at us, I'm already half health just because of a few little compies, so keep that in mind. They are not friendly. Sometimes if you want to, you can always hit them with this thing. If you're willing to run away, this will do a lot of damage. There we go. So now my parasaur is knocked out. What do you do? So you quickly hurry up, go in here. The best food to give them is the purple berries, so definitely give them the purple berries. Shouldn't take all that long. Obviously my settings are going really fast. And there we go, we got a parasaur. Now it definitely will take a lot longer, but overall a parasaur is a super easy low level tame and can't help you enough. Like, they're amazing, so don't disregard them low level. Then you just go get some hide and you'll get yourself a saddle in no time. One other thing about Ark is it's a fun game, but you gotta explore the map. I mean, I can teach you a good chunk just by watching videos and other things, but to really learn, you just have to play the game. And so obviously this video is not going to cover everything there is to know, but it will cover the basics, and basically help you not seem like a total noob in Ark, but the only way to get good is to have put hours in the game. And that's kind of what I like about this game so much. It's really a survival experience, and those are the type of games I like. And without further ado, once you get, I would probably put, I don't say you have to beat the island boss, but you do have to have a good experience. Probably get maybe like level 80 or so. So once you're about level 80 or so, you feel like you got a lot of experience in the Ark, and you don't exactly want to finish the boss, then I would go on to the next map, Scorched Earth. And I will explain that in just a second. Okay, so when you spawn into Scorched Earth, I normally spawn Midlands or South, any of the easy zones, but I probably would spawn Midlands 3, mainly because, first off, it's the temperature in Scorched Earth. So Scorched Earth, your biggest problem is the heat and also not having enough water. So, first thing I normally do when I get in, is I kind of look around, find my area, hopefully I find water. And you really want to find water of some sort. Now this is obviously, there's crack there, you don't want to go there. So right over there. So because I saw that thing, normally I would probably go downhill, because downhill is always where you'll find the water. Because I see that, that is an explorer note, and I'm going to head straight towards that explorer note, because that is definitely the best thing you can do right now. And plus, I'm kind of near a mountain. The best thing right now is for me to stay in this area, because I have metal spawns, I have explorer notes, I have wood, right? On Scorched Earth, anything that you wouldn't find in a desert, if you find those items, they're valuable. So, definitely take advantage of them. So, explorer note I found. And now, right now, I'm either looking for water veins. Now, Scorched Earth has this thing called water veins, which is a new engram, or new thing in the map, and you just kind of look around for them. They just kind of look like little spots in water. I'm actually going to show a map of all the water veins in Scorched Earth to help you find that, because that's super important, and it's a lot easier than going down to the river's edge. But if you can't find a water vein, go ahead and head downhill, and you'll find some water. The only reason I don't normally like to go heading straight downhill, and I would much prefer to find a water vein, is because it's a lot safer. So, like, there's water down there, but there's dinosaurs, there's creatures that can kill you. Definitely not the funnest place to be, trust me. So, in Scorched Earth, I do not even attempt most of the time to find the water. I normally look for the water veins. As I said, I don't have anything in mind right now, but yeah, I'm going to go and explain all the different engrams for Scorched Earth so you guys understand. It's a very heat-oriented map, so there is many different things in Scorched Earth. There's storms that will randomly appear, so there's heat storms, dust storms or sandstorms. You got lightning storms, and I think those are the main three storms. So the heat waves, those are really painful because if you don't have the new armor that you get in Scorched Earth, which is the desert cloth armor, it's very hard to withstand the heat. And even with the desert cloth, normally you still can't withstand the heat, and you need to go inside an adobe house, which is also a new Scorched Earth item. So focus on that. Adobe is basically made out of sand, so sand is a very useful item on this map. Another thing is the lightning storm. If you're high up in the levels, it disables any sort of technology at all, so turrets won't work, tech armor will stop working, all sorts of stuff will just break down because of the lightning storm. And another thing is the sandstorm, and the way to prevent the sandstorm is those tents. And there is a tent, let me just go ahead and kill myself. The tent that you get came with the new Scorched Earth map. And basically you just place down the tent, you can just find silk, and once you get the silk, it helps you get the tent. And you just go in the tent and you're safe from any sort of sandstorm. You just gotta wait it out. Those sandstorms, you can't exactly not wait out. You have to wait out the sandstorm, unfortunately. Normally, it's kind of a waste of time, especially if you're traveling. Look at that! South Zone 3. Spawn here if you really know you want water. But obviously, it's not going to be super safe. So that's where I died, and now I'm downhill and I'm alive. So, South Zone 3 is an easy zone and you're near water. But I guarantee you there are dangerous creatures around here, so you want to be careful. Do the same thing I said on the island, and yeah, super simple, super fun. This is honestly one of my favorite maps, mainly because of the level of difficulty this map presents. You can die very fast due to heat and anything. So, see these little bushes right here? This gets you silk. So these little bushes will actually get you silk. Actually, yeah, see how I'm getting silk? And so silk is exactly what you need to make all sorts of stuff. It's how you make the desert cloth armor. It's how you make the tents. So definitely if you find those little white patches, you might as well just harvest it all. Um, yeah, that's about all for Scorched Earth. Let's move on to Aberration. Okay, so I am back. This is Aberration now. And you can spawn the portal, fertile lake. Any of the fertile lakes are pretty easy. And with Aberration, it basically you spawn and you spawn underneath the ground. You're in an underground area. So light is very important. You need to be able to see and know what you're doing and find your way. I'm going to explain a few basic things of Aberration and what makes it different than other maps. I honestly have played Aberration the least of any other map of all of them. Mainly because when I got Ark, I started in the beginning of Aberration. I actually started when Scorched Earth when Scorched Earth came out and Aberration was coming out soon. So I think I had played for just a little bit and then Aberration came out. And so because of that, I was still working on, oh my god. Yeah, see how little experience I have? Oh jeez. Okay. So I'm gonna die. So don't get near the mushrooms. The mushrooms will kill you. Wait till that fades off. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so mushroom patches. Mushrooms can be dangerous. Some mushrooms are good for your health. Others are absolutely horrible. You can harvest anything. And the wood in this thing is either trees, but also mushrooms will get you like mushroom wood. So that will also work. Do the same thing you would do on any other map. Some particular points is when you get higher level and you go outside, there's like radiation, so you have to have a special suit to go in different areas of the map. There's even a blue zone, and so you'll go in different areas, you'll explore. This is the green zone, this is the fertile area. Anywhere in the green zone is relatively safe, considering everything else. Basic stuff, I mean, I honestly, it's a fun map. Like Aberration, it's not a bad map. It's hard though. It's definitely hard. I think Aberration. Some people say Scorched Earth is harder than Aberration. I don't know. Back and forth. I honestly think Aberration is harder than Scorched Earth, but it kind of just gets harder as the story goes along. So I normally would just follow the storyline to it, except when you get to Extinction, then it gets easier. Kill your dodos, all your basic stuff. Trying to think of anything else that's particular to Aberration. They have Ravagers, which is obviously a great tame to start out with. And they also have light pets. So you go around the map and you'll look around and you'll find these little dinosaurs. They look kind of like any sort of small little pets. But most of them are harmless and they generate light. And so in this area, it looks all super bright. And that's because we're in this area of the map. But when it gets dark, you won't be able to see anything and really not the best. Also, other parts of the map in Aberration, which is like the blue area and stuff, um there's Ravagers and there's all sorts of little creatures that can hurt you very badly, but if you have light, they're actually weakened by that light. So you really want to focus on not getting weakened by the light. In order to do that, you just get those little light pets. There's bulb dogs, what are those little lizards, all sorts of stuff. And please don't judge me because I honestly don't play Aberration much. I haven't played it since it first came out. I think I played a little bit. I think the farthest I got was like a rock drake. So I didn't get very far. I think I just had raised one rock drake, which is pretty difficult, I might say. So yeah, this is what the map looks like. Pretty interesting. I'll add more. I'll add all the engrams for you all to see so you guys understand the differences and what map you might want to choose. Really, not a bad map. If you want, you can obviously skip Scorched Earth, go straight to this map because this is another fun map. every map has its own unique capabilities, and that's the joy of the Ark. Just every map is different in its own unique way. I mean, I'm underground. Look at this. I'm in like a cave system underground, and there's mushrooms and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, sweet. Okay, so I am actually on Extinction. And so, unlike other maps, Extinction is one of those maps that I think you don't have to have a lot of experience to start up on. You just spawn at one of the easy sanctuary areas, and it just feels like the island. I mean, for the most part, you just go around your business, and it's basically the same as the island map. Really different and great in many ways. And the story behind this map is you're actually starting out on Earth. Now, in all the other maps, we've been on an Ark, which is kind of like a simulated environment hovering around the Earth because the Earth is in ruins. And now we finally get to play on actual Earth. And so these are little tech creatures. These guys, those are little drones. You can actually tame them and have a little drone to fly around with you and look check out different dinosaurs. You can even control your creatures using the drone. But it's basically now we're on actual Earth, and so Earth is in ruins. This is the actual city area, and outside of the area is corruption. And so corruption basically element, which is an element in the island and all the other maps, has kind of like corrupted all the dinosaurs outside of the city, and this city is barely able to live in. It's barely even livable right now, as you can see. It's everything's broken down, but it is still livable, and there's not angry creatures all over there, and there's no corruption because you have these little drones going around and fixing everything. So just spawn here. For a little bit of difficulty though, if you've already gone through the storyline, spawn a snow biome or desert biome or even aberration biome, whichever map you want best. And that's kind of the fun part about this map. I didn't like it at first though because it was really glitchy on Xbox when it first came out, like really badly. But now it's a lot better, so you can really spawn at any of the biomes you want, whatever's your favorite. I mean, if you like this type of area and you want to explore the new, not new now, but new at the time area, you certainly can. This is a great place to spawn. But really, anywhere you can spawn here, just don't spawn in the corruption zone because that's very hard. And so corruption kind of makes the dinosaurs a lot stronger. So keep that in mind. I mean, really, it's difficult. So you lose health, you lose food, your food drains faster. So normally, if I get a pteranodon or anything and I'm flying across to different biomes, you want to be very careful with that, and you want to make sure you have enough stamina to get there because you don't want to have to stop in the middle somewhere because you can easily get eaten by any dinosaurs with any sort of corruption. And this zone here is pretty safe. It's kind of like the beach area of the island. If you get too close to waterways, you'll have sarcos and little things like that. There tends to be raptors if you go in maybe a little bit more heavily wooded areas of this map. But that's the majority of it. And so these little enforcer guys, don't fight them or anything. You can end up taming them. So there's defense units and enforcers. What is this? This is an enforcer. So yeah. Easy tames, kind of a really different Ark experience to the normal. Less dinosaurs, more tech stuff, and that kind of be the trend from here on out. A lot more techie stuff. Obviously, there'll be more in-depth guide on this map if you want to know more about this map and how exactly to approach surviving. But that's the joy of Ark. You really can approach it however you want. You can do things totally different. You don't have to spawn here at all. You can spawn in the Aberration biome and work your way up. I mean, and that's even cool about this is the Aberration biome is underneath us. So you can spawn in the Aberration biome and you'll come up and you're on Earth. It's kind of cool. Yep. And I'll go ahead and show you guys all the engrams that you get with this new map. Or the new map at the time. And then we'll move on to the Genesises. I'll probably put... No, I'll do each Genesis individually. So yeah. Okay, so we are on Genesis Part 2. This map, a lot of people didn't like it because there is no flyers, but I actually enjoy this map quite a bit. So, a couple things about this map. You have Helena, or HNLA, and with Helena you can go around and fix glitches. And remember, this storyline, you're in a simulation, so you're not actually on an Ark, you're actually on a simulation, and if you successfully beat the simulation, then you are good enough to go on to the spaceship, which is Genesis 2. Genesis 2, you're actually on a spaceship and you come out of the simulation. So, okay, so basically she helps you on your journey. Places to spawn. I don't spawn at the bog. It says bog is easy. I definitely do not spawn at the bog. The place I spawn is the ocean biome. The reason I spawn at the ocean biome is you can normally, especially if you're on PvP, nobody really goes there, at least on those islands. So there's a few ways you can actually get to some of those islands. You kind of can spawn at different zones, and then what I normally do it, oh my god. So you can kind of go around. The island's nice and safe in the ocean area. So the ocean area has little islands in the ocean area. And I love those because they're super safe. Plenty of metal spawn. Obviously not a lot of dinosaurs to tame, but that helps you get your levels up. And that's normally what I end up doing, is leveling up a ton that way. Okay, so if you're a beginner... Yes. Okay, so if you're a beginner here on Ark Genesis, and what you want to do is I normally just spawn in the ocean biome. It's safe, no dangerous creatures, and you can use this time to level up and get your resources. You might have to get stone in different places, but normally it's not very complicated. Actually, this is the lower part of an island. Oh no, it's not. Is it the lower part? So there's many islands here, and you're just kind of out here in the abyss, but there's normally a lot of metal on any of these little island floating platforms, and so a lot of times I'll spawn, let me think, I normally spawn at biome west, ocean northeast. So ocean northeast is normally where I spawn. There's and it's kind of good. So what I figured out is on Ocean Northeast, if there's nobody else on Ocean Northeast at the time you spawn, you can actually spawn at the top section. But if there's somebody else, you spawn at the bottom section. So what you normally do is, if there's nobody else on the island, you can spawn at the top section and basically eliminate anybody else from teleporting to you. Now, people can still can fly to you and stuff, but they can't teleport to you. So I think it eliminates a lot of the different things that can happen on PvPs because they have a less chance of finding your base and you're kind of super hidden. Here we are, right on target. So, for whatever reason, I did spawn down at the bottom part of this. But normally, what I like to do is I spawn up there, plenty of metal to find, and I just get a little base, build up, and grow. And that's kind of the idea of Genesis. It's a lot harder to get any flyers. You got the spider guys, but those guys are harder to get, and so it's a lot easier to stay hidden on this map on PvP. Honestly, great map, and so the story behind it is basically you're hidden. The story behind it is you are in a simulation, and you have HNLA kind of helping you and guiding you through the simulation. And when you complete the simulation, you're actually able to go onto a spaceship with the Federation. So in the Ark lore, there's a Federation and this other group which kind of runs over Earth. And so I'm trying to remember, but the one group of people actually stayed on Earth and did not try and leave Earth and actually built the arcs all around, which is what we have been experiencing. And now we're on the other group, which decided we're going to take a spaceship and try and find a new planet to have life on, which is kind of the idea of Ark 2, is that when you beat Genesis 2, you finally find the planet that has life, that is perfect for the Ark, for humans to live on, and then you try and Ark 2 is based around that planet, so you can actually live on that new planet that we found. It's not Earth, but it's some other alien planet. Few different things. I'm gonna just tell you the engrams. You can teleport everywhere in this map. I think it's easier to start up because you can actually go into HNLA. If you don't know this, go here. You can go into exchange hexagons, and you can get all sorts of things low level that you wouldn't be able to get. If you're doing stuff and you just don't have oil, you can buy oil. You don't have to actually find these materials that would normally be hard. My number one favorite is cryopods. And so you can actually get a cryopod from this map and maybe go onto another map and be able to transfer your characters to different maps and your different dinos and move them around. It makes transporting things super easy, super fun, and I really do like this map. Okay, so you beat the Genesis simulation, and now you are on the spaceship finding new life and new planets to explore. And here you are, the last of Ark 1 expansion. What do I think of it? I think this is a pretty fun map. I don't know how it would work on PvP, but I know PvE it's a very fun map because you can go around. Taming dinos is pretty much a breeze. I mean, you can go around doing all sorts of stuff, and it's just a breeze. So, because you can literally fly. You start out with a jetpack, can fly around. There's a bunch of new, really cool dinosaurs to test out. All sorts of fun space creature, really futuristic look. And this is a spaceship. This is what you don't understand is we're literally on a spaceship of Genesis, and really crazy to think about. So I would say on a scale, this is probably my number 3 favorite map. I really did enjoy this map. This is the newest one, as I said. Great map overall. What you want to do is you want to spawn in any of the green area. Yep, any of the, what's the zone called? I forget what it's called, but it's just basically the safe zone.
Just look at all this high-tech engineering.
High-tech engineering, as she's like all bad looking. Okay. Yeah, so really nice look of it. I think there's a bunch of potential PvE build spots that just look amazing. I'm gonna give an example of one right up here that I'm playing. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and fly. X. Oh my gosh, I'm so heavy. So you gotta kind of get up in the sky when you're heavy. Actually, that's kind of cool thing. So when you're heavy, your jetpack will still work. So you can actually fly around when you have no weight to walk. You can't even move a little bit, but you are able to fly around, which is pretty amazing and kind of a different thing that you can do. And so there's a whole bunch of potential build spots here. I actually built one of my bases right up in here, up top here. So that's, you can do all sorts of stuff. Trust me, it's really fun. So there's nothing here now, but look at this. Look how nice it is. So you can really get some amazing base spots, and there's spots everywhere. I mean, this is a nice spot because you're up high. It's not super easy to raid you. It actually takes one behemoth gateway, fits perfectly. Metal behemoth gate fits perfectly in there. So yeah, that's great. You can build base there, base here. You can even build bases in the other. Oh yeah, this is called the Eden Zone. It just dawned on me. There's an underwater cave system. There's like a whole underwater cave system down here if you go down here. Great map. I think beginners could do this map too. This is a map you can do in beginners too. I mean, a lot of the newer maps are easy and not nearly as difficult to get started on as Aberration and Scorched Earth. I think Aberration and Scorched Earth are very hard. Very hard to get started on. And it gets kind of easier as you go out. And then to this, which is kind of really easy. So, great map. This is kind of a guide to everything, and it gives you a look and what maps you want to buy. Because if you don't want to spend all the money on all the different Ark maps, you just buy the one that looks the best to you. Really, they're all great in their own different ways. You just kind of find your own. But for me personally, Scorched Earth is my favorite because of the difficulty. Number 2 would probably be Genesis 1 or 2. Probably Genesis 2. And yeah, definitely a game I suggest you to get into. And I will probably do a 100-day series because a lot of people don't like my 100-day series. I'm probably going to do a 100-day series on Ark 2 when it comes out. So I can still fly, even though I have full weight. So have a good day, everybody. I'll go ahead and show the engrams for this map and all the different creatures to each map so you guys can see that. Hope you enjoyed.